Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another edition of electricairmobility.news. Today we're going to talk about a super interesting company that's been around for a very long time and that has slowly but quietly morphed into one of those advanced air mobility companies. I'm talking about Textron and their new Textron eViation company. Welcome to electricairmobility.news. I am your host, Nicholas Zard. A little bit about myself, if you don't know who I am. I've been around in the electric mobility industry for about 20 years, 17 of which professionally as a consultant and a journalist. And I've been very lucky to have seen the beginning of electric mobility. And somewhere around 2014, I started seeing electric aviation virtually taken off, I guess I'm going to say, pun intended. And it was back then that I thought, wow, you know what? I thought the maritime world will electrify itself before aviation, but it turned out that I was totally wrong with that. Usually I have an uncanny knack to predict trends before they happen, 5 to 10 to 15 years before. I was right with electric mobility, specifically when it comes to electric vehicles in 2004. And I was right again in 2014. In the meantime, in 2019, I started focusing on infrastructure because that was the one thing that we didn't do too well in 2009 when we were introducing electric vehicles to the world, is we should have really focused on the infrastructure. We did that. We are doing that. This is eViation, and this is why I created Electric Air Mobility LLC, and it's a company, a consulting company where we offer conceptualization, designs, and implementations around vertiport ecosystem, meaning the infrastructure of vertiports, the energy production, storage management, what do terminals look like, vertipads, and of course, all of the traffic management integration you can think of. It's extremely complicated, but if you want to know more about it, check out our other videos and our articles on electricairmobility.news. So today we're going to talk about something pretty interesting about Textron eViation's, and it's about their eVTOL Nexus and their Nuuva V300 drones. And I don't really know how to pronounce Nuuva because it's N-U-U-V-A, so your guess is as good as mine. I guess we should ask them. So Textron is an incredible company. For those of you who know aviation, they've been around for a very long time. They also own a lot of different companies, a lot of the smaller airplanes that you see that you can buy out there. Most of them fall under the Textron umbrella. But somewhere a few years ago, they started eViation, or their Textron eViation new company, and that's really the electric air mobility part of it. The first thing that they did was to buy Pipistrel. And that was really fantastic because now they're able to sell the Pipistrel Alpha Trainer. Now it's called the Velos Electro. And it's a fantastic two-seater that's fully electric. It's an airplane I've been very lucky to have been inside. It's fantastic. I definitely would buy it. The autonomy is about 45 minutes, which is good. That means you could technically fly for about an hour with it. Another thing that they did, which means a lot to me, is that in 2018 or 2019, I went to CES and Bell was showing an eVTOL, an electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, and they called it the Nexus. Now, back around then, the technology wasn't as mature as it is today, and of course, I asked a lot of questions, as I usually do as a journalist, and I went, even behind the scenes, talked to a lot of engineers, and I didn't get the idea that they were really pushing this, more of a showcase of what Bell can do. And by the way, Bell is part of Textron. One thing that was very interesting is that it had 6 duct fans. And for those of you who know, duct fans have their pros and cons, but it's not something that the entire industry has embraced, at least on a broad scale. Only a handful of companies are using duct fans. And in fact, if you think about back in 2018, 2019, a lot of companies, eVair Mobility, a lot of companies like that showed duct fans, especially on the vertical flight power systems. Anyway, This aircraft, oh, here's a fun little story that you might not know. This aircraft was extremely hard to take pictures of because it was shiny black and it's inside of a hangar, big hangar, right? And of course all the spotlights are on it, which meant you could never get a good picture. And so I laughed and I said, guys, love it, you know, beautiful and everything, but my gosh, do not ever paint it flashy, glossy black. We can't take pictures. So the following year, it came up in a grayer color, which was much easier to take pictures of. So really funny story. Lo and behold, Textron takes the whole concept and brings it to under its own wing, under the eViation wing, and represents it. So this is really pretty much redesigned and everything. And what we found out in the meantime was, oh, I've got a good story to tell you also. What was it, last year at Oshkosh? This was end of July, actually, for my birthday. I was at Oshkosh with a company called Volatus Infrastructure. And I met up with Rob Shaw, who's an amazing guy, who was the CEO of Textron Aviation at the time. And they were introducing the Panthera, the Pipistrel Panthera. Please go check it out. It's, well, beautiful. And they actually sold the display unit there, just right then and there, which was pretty amazing. So I asked him, I took him aside, and I said, so what's going on with the Nexus? Are you still pushing it? What's going on with the all the other things? And he goes, yes, we are. We're still working on it, which I thought, okay, you know, it was semi-public, semi-private, so I didn't say anything about it. But I'm really happy to say now that, yes, they have been working on it. In fact, they've been working on it a lot. They've redesigned it. It doesn't have the duct fans anymore. It has more of what you would expect now of a you know, eVTOL sort of design. And if you go a little bit further into the news, and you'll see it on our website, they've actually started manufacturing the demonstrator. So they will be flying it sometime at the beginning of next year as a demonstrator. So this is really good news. And the Nexus is not the only thing that they're flying. They're also using another of Pipistrel's drone, and that's the well, Nuuva, I guess, Nuuva, and that's a drone from the company. Just a little bit about the Nexus eVTOL. It has about 100 nautical miles and a cruise speed of 120 knots. And it's designed really for urban air mobility, emergency services, cargo delivery, special missions, and more. And the reason why cargo delivery is when you look at the original Bell design of the actual airframe, it has a huge back door that opens up, so you can really put stretchers in there. You can put cargo. It was a great design, and it certainly impressed us a heck of a lot. The Nuuva V300 cargo is also interesting. It's a hybrid electric ultra long range eVTOL, and it can carry 660 pounds over 300 kilometers. I should have also given kilometers and I mean miles and pounds, or actually kilos into this one. That's something I'll do for next time. So really right now Textron has a very smart and diverse range of electric aircraft. The Pipistrel Velos, which is a two-seat trainer. The Pipistrel Panthera. And a really good story about the Pipistrel Panthera is that a long time ago when I was talking to Pipistrel, they were really designing that aircraft to be gas, hybrid, and electric. And so I did ask, by the way, about the electric, and they said they were still working on it, so we won't hold them to it. We'll just, make sure that it happens. So, and then now there's also the Nexus eVTOL that they're working on, and the Nuuva 300 that they're still working on. This is pretty good, and one of the reasons why you need to check out that company, because Textron is one of those rare OEM companies that is moving into the future, but in a smart, pragmatic, and not flashy way. Because if you look at the news these days, and one of the reasons that I stayed independent as a journalist all through the 17 years, and Lord knows it was not to my financial gain, was that the mainstream news really doesn't go deep enough into these topics that we cover here. We are in this industry, we breathe it, we live it, we can tell you all the little hidden stories behind it, and that is why it's important to really look at our outlets, to read our websites, because we can tell you a heck of a lot more and make a heck of a lot more sense of an entire industry than a journalist that just is a mainstream journalist. Anyway, we hope that you've enjoyed this video. As a funny little side note, this is the second time I'm recording it because for some reason YouTube clipped this video to 3 minutes and 57 seconds. No matter how many times I reloaded it, started from scratch, for some reason it keeps on doing it. So it takes a lot of work, it's a lot of effort to do these videos. We want to keep it free for you guys so that you really have a good idea of what advanced air mobility is. At the very least, if you can like, if you can subscribe, if you can share these videos with others, that would mean a lot to me, because it would show that, okay, the content is relevant, you enjoy it. If you can put a little comment in it, all the better. And we try to keep all of this free, but you know, it's not easy. So any kind of feedback we can get from you guys, if you can go to the website, electricairmobility.news, and read our articles, that means a lot to us. We hope you've enjoyed this. I'm your host, Nicolas Zart, and I'll see you next time for another video. Thank you. Bye-bye.